This is a demonstration for cyber automation, showcasing the Modernize for Windows product. In today's demonstration, we will showcase how a system, in this case, a Microsoft Windows XP system from 2002, which is over 20 years old, as today it is 2023. So well over 20 years old, can be migrated and modernized to a new system. And that will be done by profiling this system, profiling all the applications, systems and settings, and then moving those onto a newer system where that fingerprint and that profile will be applied. This provides a very easy way to modernize or to migrate antiquated systems to newer systems, particularly in this case for the Microsoft Windows operating system. What we can see here is it is also a 32-bit system. So this is not a 64-bit system. This is a 32-bit operating system, and it will be profiled and then modernized onto a 64-bit operating system, showing the full array of the possibilities of what can be modernized and migrated. Of note are the services that are running on this machine, which are not native Microsoft Windows services, such as Apple mobile device and the Bonjour service. There are others, but these are of note. Another thing that is noteworthy that may not be able to be migrated, and it's something to bear in mind, is the Windows Media Player. Here we can see that it has specific dependencies for this operating system, such as the HTTP service and the HTTP SSL service. They may not be the same services on newer operating systems. So where there are dependencies for antiquated services, those services may not be available on the newer operating systems. So that's one of the caveats when performing a migration. Now, to profile the source system, we run the binary as administrator. This is a very important step. You must run it as administrator so it has full permissions to get the data from the system. Remember that when profiling the source system, so the original system that you want to migrate, it is important to run as administrator, so it has full access to the system to get all the necessary data from that system. And the positive side of this is also it's a read-only function. It's not making any changes. It's only going to read the data in order to profile the system, and then it will write its profile to the folder which the binary was executed from. So let's do that. It will go ahead and perform the various licensing checks. This is an important step, as accepting this registry file will allow the user interface to execute, and it will be removed straight afterwards. And as you can see here, it's now going to remove the changes that it made in order to run this GUI. It will ask for the source IP address. If you have multiple network interfaces, choose the IP address that will be associated with that system for various applications, etc. that are installed on that. It allows you to select the applications that you would like to modernize. So for the purposes of this demonstration, let's select all of them, and also which ones you want to see on the start menu of the destination system. So when you are migrating or modernizing a system, what are those applications that you want to take across? And also, what are the applications that you want to have in that start menu? They should match each other. So for instance, if I was choosing Citrix, I would want to make sure that I have a start program for Citrix. But again, we'll just select everything. We may not select specific things for specific reasons. So for instance, on the destination system, it won't have an NVIDIA driver. Now this particular system has an NVIDIA driver, so I probably don't need to take that across, so I can remove that. And with all that done, all we do is hit generate. And this may take some time, depending on the size of the system, the number of applications, and the complexity of those applications and system. So it will just go ahead and perform the profiling and fingerprinting of this system. It may occasionally prompt you to say that it's running slowly. That's okay. When it asks you, do you want to abort the script? Press no so that it can continue. It'll also keep giving you feedback as it processes each of the various applications within the system that it's profiling. Now we've rejoined the system after it has completed processing all of the system files and services. It'll come up telling you that it's finished. It'll also give you a button to press. So we hit OK. Now one thing to just mention is in older operating systems, the logo for Cyber Automation may not be visible. And that's fine. That just means you're using an older browser. Now that we've finished and we've got an OK, that it has finished, we can go ahead and we can close this box. And then what we'll see here are a number of files that have been created as part of the profiling. Now all we have to do is copy all of these files as they are, don't make any changes, onto the destination system. And so that'll be the new system that you want to make the same as this system. It'll probably be something newer. It can be in a data center, another data center, it can be in the cloud, it can be anywhere. So all you have to do now is transfer all of these files onto that system, and then we'll rerun the Modernize for Windows binary again. It'll automatically detect, just like it detected that this system was the source system, it will automatically detect the new destination system and start profiling that to be the same as this Windows XP 2002 system, which will take all of those system services applications 20 years into the future. So I will go and copy those files and we'll restart this video then. This is a newly installed Windows 2022 Data Center Edition server. The files from the original source machine have been copied over to it. We can see it has a different IP address. Also note that it is of a different processor. So this is a 64-bit processor. The source system was a 32-bit processor, but that won't affect the process. It will be able to be migrated over to the 64-bit system. Also noteworthy is that the Apple mobile device service is not here, nor is the Bonjour service, because both of them are not native to Windows. Only the native Windows services appear here. Now let's make this system get migrated. And once again, we run it as administrator. Of note is that because this is a new operating system, the icons will appear, whereas they didn't originally. Once again, install the ability for the UI. And because this is a newer browser, new operating system, the logos appear, so everything renders correctly. All that's required is entering the host name. We know the IP address previously from the command prompt. Also note there was no 64-bit folder because the other machine was a 32-bit system, so there's no need to enter anything there. We navigate to the folder that has the data. It says it wants the program files x86 folder, and that's from the original source system. It's in the Modernize for Windows directory. It also wants to know there's another folder called source folder in here. So we'll point to that, and it wants to know where the start menu.dat file is. And again, all of these files are going to be within that single folder that was created on the source machine. Once all of that is entered, all that's left is to hit the apply button and let the system do its job. This may take some time as there were quite a few files, so the length of time it takes depends on how many applications, files, systems and services you have on the originating machine. As we can see, the modernization has now finished. We can see that it's told us that it's finished processing and everything's okay, and given us a time date stamp. All we have to do is hit OK, close it down, and then reboot. And after the reboot, we will log back into the machine and it will be transformed. What's noteworthy is that the applications have been installed. However, the reboot will be required in order to activate all of those changes that have come across from that source machine. So we will reboot that machine. And after logging in, we'll see the applications that were modernized being configured and installed on this system. There will be some files that will be missing, that may be missing, and these may be for applications that are so antiquated and that rely on the original operating system and may not work on a newer operating system. Now, one of the things we can do is have a look at those services. Previously, they did not have the Apple mobile device. We can see that that has been modernized, migrated over, and is running, as should be the Bonjour service. We can also see applications such as the Microsoft Office applications that have been migrated over. As you can see here, these are very old. This is the original version from the original machine, so Word 2003. This may take some time for it to do the reconfiguration on this current system. So we'll let it do that and we will join back shortly. And after a little bit of time, those applications will be installed. Here we can see that this is, in fact, Windows 2003. Sorry, Office 2003. From the original system. Same applies for other applications such as Microsoft Excel 2003. And there we are, working exactly as it did on the original system. We can see that other applications are also installed. Such as Visio. Once again, it's exactly the same as the source system it's been migrated across. We can check other applications too, such as the old web browser, Google Chrome. So we can see that this is a very, very old version. It is the original version from that original system. And the same for Mozilla Firefox. Which, as we can see by the layout, is a very old version. But this shows a successful modernization of those applications and the settings from an old system onto a new one. An added benefit of Modernize for Windows version 2 is that it will be bundled with Microscan. What will occur automatically is that Microscan will run and it will look something like this. A scan will be performed on the machine, scanning for all applications and also any vulnerabilities that can be exploited. They will be created in two files. There'll be one file that will show all of the vulnerabilities. And as we can see, there are some vulnerabilities for Firefox, QuickTime, and WebEx because the software is quite dated. The second outcome will be a file that shows an application list, and this will be an index of the applications on that machine and their version names. Microscan will be bundled with Modernize for Windows and will be natively integrated, and these two files can be seen as part of the outcome when moving to the destination system.